recently interviewed Teddy Riley.
I love Teddy, man.
Yeah, that was an epic interview. So we kind of go through his whole story. And of course, he worked with Michael Jackson on the Dangerous album.
Right.
And some other songs. And, we went through the whole history, their whole relationship and so forth. And after Michael Jackson died, he got contacted by Sony to work on the Michael album.
Right.
Which you're actually on, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's sort of an interesting kind of twist that happened. You know what I'm talking about already, right?
No, actually I don't.
Okay, so when that album was put together, this guy came forward. His name was Casio. He was this Persian guy who said that Michael Jackson stayed with him for a few months and recorded 12 records at his home studio. These records were, sent over to Sony. The foundation signed off on them. So then Teddy Riley starts to work on these records, starts to, do the production, do the mixing and so forth. They get released.
They got leaked or released?
They got released originally. 50 Cent was on one of the records, Monster and so forth. Quincy Jones spoke up and said, these are not Michael Jackson's vocals.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that.
Jermaine Jackson spoke up, said, this is not my brother's voice. And at first, Teddy was like, Quincy Jones is old. He can't even hear me talk. He's not going to tell me. He doesn't even know who he's talking to. He doesn't know Michael Jackson's vocals like I do, so forth and so forth.
Right.
But as time went on and more stuff came forward, and I asked Teddy flat out, I said, those vocals right now in 2022, are they real or are they fake? He said one song was real. He said all the other vocals were fake.
Wow.
August 2022. Do you think that those were actually Michael's vocals or not?
If I tell you today,
right now,
I can tell you right now that no.
And they actually had to pull. If you look at the album now, it's only a few songs. All the original songs actually got pulled, and there was a lawsuit around it, I believe, and so forth. I remember I talked to Rodney Jerkins about this.
Mm.
And I'm like, do you know about this? And Rodney was Michael's producer at the time that he died, right? They were working on a bunch of stuff together. And I'm like, these vocals, real or fake? He goes, fake, because I know all about these vocals. I'd heard these songs. It came from like an intern or something.
That's crazy. I remember hearing something like that, but I never knew the specifics of the story. That's crazy.
Because your song that you worked on Michael's album, you guys were actually in the studio.
We were together. Yeah, we were together.
So that is 100% legitimate.
Without a doubt.
You're right. Because he said, what did Teddy say? He said Hollywood was the only song that he had that he said was real. Because you could hear all the behind the scenes
But Mike's
stuff.
ad-libs are, can't nobody you can't even, it's hard to duplicate. You get the acapellas, you'll know off top if that's Mike or not. Because he sang it in a rhythm.
Yeah.
Like he didn't sing normal like everybody else. It was a rhythm. Like he'd be damn near beatboxing as he's singing. You know what I'm saying?